Welcome back. Down and back. Not even. What am I wrong again already? It's how long I haven't done one for. Down and back. Cornhole podcast is back finally, and we've got the man here. You always hear him talking. We now have him in front of the camera, Mr. Wally Kassler from K9 Cornhole. Wally, how you doing?
Not too bad. What's up, brother? Appreciate you having me on, man.
Oh, funny. I've been wanting to try and get you on for a while because we have the live feed stuff in common that that people think, and we'll get into a bit later. That people think it's just an easy. You just go and you set up a camera and you start talking, and it's easy. You don't have to do a single thing to do it.
Self-mutilation.
Well, exactly, yeah. So we talked, as I kind of talked to you a bit off air there, that for us up here, all of a sudden, we were trying to get some of the ACL feeds, but then all of a sudden we started getting this K9 Cornhole that to be able to help us up here in Canada see more of the ACL events and some of the bigger name players in the States. So for some of the people who are not really familiar with you, how did you get your start with the ACL?
So basically, I started running regionals here with Jerry Wolford in St. Louis area. They announced they were going to bring a national to St. Louis. So we pushed it really, really hard. We decided to hop on, became actually directors in the area. Started doing that. We just kind of wanted to focus a little bit on the up-and-coming players, the socials, the intermediates, competitive players, and wanted to focus on them more because at the end of the day, the pros are still going to get their TV time, So just start with the simple 2-camera setup, plugging it in, playing around with OBS, resizing everything, getting all the equipment. And then I started watching video game streamers. And I was like, man, I like what they're doing there with that graphic. Let me see if I could do it. And then I like what they're doing with that over there in that transition. Let me see if I could do that. So just kind of playing around with it for about a year. And then the ACL asked me to come out and do Worlds last year. And obviously, I was like, yeah, I'm down to do it. They were going to have me on the Fire Cornhole court. And then I ended up getting my own court. And I think whenever I had my own court and did some cool stuff on there and just basically made it all about the viewers, showed them something different. The ACL liked it, and they brought me back this year, and we've been kind of steamrolling, man.
Well, exactly. It's you've helped me along to be able to keep up with all what's going on because, like I said, it's up here in Canada. We get the odd time if CBS is actually showing it. We get to see it on regular TV, but we don't really get to see much of the ESPN stuff. So it's like I said, you've been a real help for us up here to be able to keep up with the video side of it instead of just checking results.
Well, thank you. Yeah, my goal is to pretty much broadcast close to 200 days a year if I can get to the point where I want to get to. So a lot of big things coming for K9 Unit in 2023. Going to try and get some better equipment, better vehicle to hop on the road a little bit more. And I want to start broadcasting, blind draws, weekly leagues, conferences, state championships. Definitely want to make it up to Canada at one point. And then just keep filming the Opens and Nationals, whatever the ACL wants me to do.
Exactly. We are really starting to go. Like we've got a provincials coming up this weekend. I think we've probably got it's going to be a second biggest cornhole event in Canada, next to that little open that we had up here back in April. But we've got close to 175 people now signed up, which is for us is like
nice.
Is like the world finals is going to be coming up here next month in Rock Hill. But so and as I kind of said there as well, that people think it's just setting up a camera and going live. And for me, it's I'm technically challenged most of the time. Thankfully, Matt Plyle from Octane and from the ACL here that he kind of sets everything up for me. He gets all the stream keys all set up and everything because I hit record or live and that's all I have to do. But it's a challenge to get everything all ready all the time because I think we were about like a week out from our open to get everything set up.
Yeah, it's a long grind too. People don't understand whenever you're doing a live feed, it's not just go to a tournament, plug in, and then there you go. You got to gather all the equipment, get everything you need, load it in the vehicle, take off to the equipment, get there earlier before everybody else, set up the live feed, resize everything, move it. Because there's some people that just set up cameras, like their boards on the screen are like this, and it's an eyesore to look at, So you got to adjust it, get them right exactly where you want it, get the audio working, get your transitions going. And 9 times out of 10, I'll have a live feed set up. Everything's plugged in exactly where it's supposed to go. And it's just black screen. And it makes no sense whatsoever.
None.
And then you do the old power on, power off, nothing. You walk away, you go get yourself a little social, get yourself a little drink.
Yeah, that's going to make Jamie Cowan happy because we know that he doesn't like to drink at all.
Yeah, so you got to go away for a second, come back, and then all of a sudden you get back to the computer, and then boom, there's all your cameras. Everything's working again. And it makes no sense, but you're glad it's working. But there's times though where the videos the live feeds for the most part are 60% talking, commentating, and then 40% troubleshooting. Because during a live feed, there's a lot of stuff that goes wrong. Cameras sometimes get out of whack, and you got to know how to fix that stuff. Otherwise, the whole live feed shot. And you got to be memorable too. If there's just a boring camera set up and nobody wants to watch it, you're gonna only have 5, 6, 7 people who actually watch you. But for me to be able to grow like I did, you gotta mispronounce some words and say some crazy things and start coming up with some slogans and sayings. Otherwise, you're just gonna lose the viewers.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing I kind of set up with because for up here we've got our sayings. I know Jamie wants you to start saying corn dog because that's just what I do when someone throws short, but he probably hasn't told you, like for us up here, if we don't have just a 4-bagger, we're stuffing the beaver up here. So that's which can be a little iffy sometimes when you're on a live feed. I wasn't going to say that on ESPN. There was no chance of that. But
I would have done it. You only get one shot to say stuffing the beaver on ESPN. You got to do it.
But it's but that's the other fun side of cornhole is and like you said, when you get like a boring, not really a boring kind of match, but that one where it's just 4-bagger after 4, like how can you call that a different way each time when that's all they're doing?
Yeah, I mean at that point you kind of have to go outside of the game, start talking about your surroundings. I'll never forget Baby Goat against Matt Guy. 47 rounds and what was it, like I think 23 double 4-baggers or something like that. And eventually I just started talking about who had beer left in the building because they stopped serving when that match started 47 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So it was, Jason McKinnon cracking beers. I'm like, what? Like, how you doing this? So there's times you just got to fill the air. You just have to continue talking.
I was going to say, wasn't there one time where you actually started commentating one of the Cobb brothers with ice cream?
I don't know if it was the Cobb brother. I think it was Laney Crabtree. Crabtree eating ice cream. Yeah. So I got him in Iowa, and then get that 5th camera out there, having Jacob Trzynski sleeping, and Cecil Adams was another guy in Kentucky. So those are fun things that I do for the viewers at home. They love roasting people. And quite frankly, people are like, did you see that he got Jake Trzynski sleeping? They're like, no, what? And then they go back and watch it. So in turn, it kind of helps you get more views whenever you do stuff like that too.
Well, exactly. And it makes it fun. And then just because my other thing is with doing live feeds is ESPN, you get just the players on the boards, right? Or whatever. With doing a live feed, you can actually bring some of those people in, talk with them, let people kind of get to know them a bit more than just when they're just throwing a bag.
Yeah. So interview cameras and stuff like that are definitely coming in 2023. Change the setup a little bit for that. And the other thing too is checking brackets. In between matches, you want to see where the brackets are at. You want to check PPRs. People at home want to know more than just what's happening in the game. And I think that's my forte. ESPN does their own thing. They got their advertising, their reads, their commercials, and everything's on a pretty structured format. They know exactly how long everything's going to take. For a live feed stuff that I do, it's a lot of just thinking on the fly. You have to come up with some ideas to keep the live feed moving. Otherwise, it's just dead air.
Oh yeah. So I don't really want to bring it up because I know people will end up doing it. But is there anything that you have that's a pet peeve with doing a live feed? Because for me, it's when you're doing something, you're trying to talk, you're into a game, and then you got someone coming up asking you about a bracket or what's going on with this or what's going on. Like, I'm talking here.
Like while I'm commentating, like if I'm commentating with somebody and I ask them a question, or if we don't feed off of each other, they kind of just rubs me the wrong way. There's really not too many people around me that bother me, but there's some, like a lot of the younger generation, unfortunately, don't know how to talk without dropping the F-bomb every 2 words.
Yes.
So, like, I don't mind if you let one slip or if you want to talk about your match, but if you're going to talk about your match right behind me, at least clean up the language a little bit. That way, I don't have to worry about who's viewing at home, because there's a lot of 6, 7, year old kids that are watching back home, and their parents always tell me, he's watching you, he's doing a good job, he's happy that you're there.
Yep.
I got it's weird that I even have fans, especially young fans, but I want to make sure that I kind of cater to everybody if possible. So, yeah, dropping the F-bomb every 2 words, that's probably one I would say.
Well, and that's the thing for me is because when I'm doing a live feed, I'm looking at that. I'm representing the ACL brand, then my brand as well, and that there just kind of for me that just goes against the brand, right? That puts that bad mark on the brand.
Yeah, there's tournaments though that they hire me specifically for that type of freedom. It's just weird. Like I have to cater to the group. There's times where people are like, "No, we want party wall. We want you cussing. We want you having a good time. We want you getting the crowd drinking. Bringing people on to talk and just how you show them how much fun this tournament is." I'm like, okay, I'll do whatever you guys ask me to do. But yeah, and that's the thing with me is I can cater to ESPN. I can cater to my live feed. I can cater to those type of people. I can cater to kids. So I'm pretty flexible with what I could do, and I'm very happy about that.
So, just to kind of step back a bit, you said about that you have fans, and I got that as well too because I'm like, who the heck is going to know me? Mm-hmm. But what was it like that first time when someone who you have no clue who it was is come up and talking to you as if they know you? It's kind of like that really weird feeling at the first couple times.
I mean, that has probably happened 2,000 or 3,000 times where people just come up and start talking to me and they forget that they need to introduce who they are.
Yeah.
So they just start talking. Hey, man, how's it going? I appreciate you. I started watching your live feeds. All right, cool. Thank you. I'm very appreciative of you. What's your name? And then not only that, but I got to remember everybody's name. I'm terrible at names. So I call everybody brother, bud, pal, stuff like that. And if I remember your name, then obviously you've made it deep in the cortex somewhere. But I find it weird. I'm just a normal guy. I'm humble. I don't really do this for fame. I love being in the spotlight, but I don't really do it for the notoriety or anything like that. I just kind of want to bring good cornhole content to people. So people want to take their picture with me. I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go. But it's just weird.
Oh yeah, and that's what I always joke about with doing the show and then doing live feeds. That according to my wife, I'm just sitting in the basement just talking to myself on YouTube here, but then you go to like at the Open, she's seeing me getting tagged in all these pictures that people are taking with me, and she's like, people actually want to have your picture with you, and I was like, well, some people aren't like her all the time, right? That don't want to be
outside of me. People like me.
It's it's one of the things, but it's I just think it's for me it's just the love of the game, having fun, right? Yeah. Because we're still. We've been around here now for 6 years with the ACL in Canada, but to some people, we're still new. And it's just bringing that fun, letting people know just how the game can be. It's not just a backyard game.
Yeah, I mean, the exposure that it's getting now is nowhere even close to where it's about to go. And I think we're pretty close to maybe in the next 2 years, just blowing the lid off of this. I mean, Canada and the U.S., obviously, two of the closest countries who are competing in this, but they're going to Australia and the Netherlands and different places. I'm just hoping that it continues to grow and not just grow, but get exposure where it grows. So I do like that we're starting to kind of hop the ponds a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the great thing. So you always hear the one guy, that Bernie guy that does all the other stuff, talk about all of his favorite players. Do you have one that you like to kind of really like to have on your live feed watching?
I mean, Baby Goat's got to be up there. Just anyone watching a 12-year-old kid dominate the sport like he's dominating, I mean, it's remarkable. The kids, for some reason, the Gore boys, Jack and Jake, I mean, it's really fun to watch some young kids who just come in and just do it like that. And here we are grinding for 3-4 years, trying to get to that level, and we can't do it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun watching the youngsters. But, I always enjoy watching Damon Dennis, the way he interacts with people and starts playing games. Mark Richards was very inspiring this last weekend in Chicago at the National, throwing a perfect game. But more importantly, seeing Mark Richards outside of the matches, where he's came from to where he's at right now, and you can see the look on his face. And sometimes you just know, like, that man is not missing today.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and the thing with me with our live feeds up here, because we don't have all the big names up here all the time, and we've only got the 8 or 9 pros that actually kind of go out and do something, is seeing those newer players, seeing the players that are kind of, I guess, newer, like I said, and then just seeing them progress, being able to watch on on your live feeds and kind of keep track of them is just that's my fun thing. I like to really watch them coming up.
Oh yeah, no, I mean there's some young kids. I mean one of my sponsored players, Bracy Blanton, was a young talent. I never even heard of him. Went to a tournament. He was the #1 seed, and like who the hell's Bracy Blanton? Never seen him. And then he's starting to throw, and you're like, man, this kid's good. He's really good. And then I started getting some more exposure out of him on the thing, and then all of a sudden the different states started hearing about Bracy Blanton. And then he started traveling more, and he's putting actual, a pretty good resume together to show these type of people. So the lesser known players, that's what I like to focus on. My sponsor players, and Matt Ryan, Sodex Crowd, he's the only one who is actually a pro in the ACL, and then Brandon Close, he's PDC. But every single one of my players that I've sponsored, I think will be a pro if they want it.
Well, and that's the thing that I like about the ACL is that it's anyone who really wants to be a pro has that chance to move on if they can, and just having that on live feeds and kind of showcasing their talent is the fun thing.
Yeah, the Kansas City Open was very, very big for my players. I mean, Ryan Wiedenfeld, Kyle Anderson, Tyler Amos, Craig Irvin, they all put on a show, and they made me look really good. So picking players that had strong finishes there in Kansas City, I'm just looking forward to seeing where the rest of their career goes, and hopefully they stick around and keep pushing K9 unit, as I'm behind them no matter what.
Well, that Kansas City area is just almost like I laugh because they talk about, there's that area, there's the Ohio area, like in the Cleveland area, and then the Virginia stuff is almost like, or even down into Florida, but their local league nights are almost like regionals or nationals at all the time. So there's so many great players down there, and that's why I like being able to see so many other smaller leagues and stuff come over with live feeds each night.
Yeah, so I'll actually be playing in leagues now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I guess I'm fully embedded in KC lifestyle now. Still haven't made it out to a regional in KC. I've been here like 6 months. It's just been crazy on the weekends. So I'm going to try and continue the travel schedule next year, but I want to make sure that I stick around for some local regionals and get back to St. Louis to meet some of my St. Louis folks again, play it there with them. And I'm just kind of looking forward to hopping on the road and kind of seeing new things. I got one of those travel maps, so you take a picture and you can crop the picture in the actual shape of the state and put it on there. So I'm trying to get first place in every single state. That's going to be my goal here in the next 2 or 3 years. So I think it'd be kind of fun. But where's somewhere that I should go up in Canada? What's on my bucket list for Canada?
There's actually a couple of places up here that are some really fun places. Cornhole Newfoundland, I'm going to say, is probably one because they've got like a league of like almost 50 players a night that are just there for fun. And we got to see them at the Open, and they had like 12 of their players fly up, take the 4-hour flight up to just play on a weekend. But they're fun. Guys with Adam Hubbard in Peterborough, they're Peterborough Cornhole. They have a lot of fun. Our guys in KW, if you want to have to hang around with Jamie Cowan again, they're there because we're probably one of the original leagues here, and then there's in the Windsor area, Essex County Cornhole. They're one of the big ones right close to Detroit. So
okay,
we're kind of branching out. We're slowly coming out, but there's and that's the thing is and you've probably said it, like you want to go and travel, but with doing live feeds, everyone's like, can you come out to our league and do a live feed? Can you come out to our league and do a live feed? I'm like, well, okay, there's 7 days in a week, and I got a kid that plays sports, and I got to try and do that and actually work.
Yeah, so that's kind of my goal next year too. Is I'm actually finishing up building the website right now. On my website, there's going to be a calendar, and on that calendar, you can select what day of the week you want me to come to a live feed. So if you want me to do like a weekly live feed, it'd be like $250 plus a place to stay, and then weekends are like $2,000 for the weekend. So a lot of people are asking me about my prices and stuff like that. Everything is always negotiable. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Some weekend tournaments last one day, 4 or 5 hours. Other tournaments, they last, 3 whole days where it's basically 8 a.m. till midnight. And so you got to have a certain price point to start at, but everything's negotiable. But that's kind of my goal, is to hopefully travel around and start doing some of those weekly tournaments. So who knows, man? Maybe I can make it up to Canada and have a good time and just do a broadcast.
Well, I think it'd be fun to have you up here and just it's because we, like I said, most of our league nights now we're starting to kind of do like their own live feed of like a final or an airmail challenge or whatever. But it's it's just that fun thing of being able to. Well, live feeds also help you get, like I said before, get to know those maybe newer players in different areas that maybe you might see at a provincial or a national or a state, like for you guys have there.
Yeah, and I definitely want to branch out. We do a lot of different money shots out here. I used to do skinny board challenge, money shot board. We got blackjack board, 5-point airmail challenges, long, 50-foot airmails. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to bring people in. So I like kind of seeing how different places and different regions do it. Some places, man, they have their money shots up to like $4,000 or $5,000, and it's just like I don't get it. But the nervousness just kicks in. People start getting nervous about it. So.
Well, I think even for our league here,
with Dean Lang and even Bernie and Jamie,
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's one thing I guess that feather in a cap for our league is that Dean, Jamie Cowan, there's Steve Pohl, a bunch of those guys have almost all of them got their start with our local KW league here, which is, I guess, why I almost finished last in our league. But it's seen though, like you said, like our money shot this week, I think we're probably up to like $1,600, which everyone here is like they couldn't believe how high it is. And I'm like, well,
yeah,
there's some in the States that are like that's like almost per bag is what you're making with that one.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to keep it interesting too. Find different ways to do it. But once you start getting the pots up there, I mean, people start trickling in. You get 60, 70 places. But the biggest problem though is finding venues that are willing to accommodate that type of stuff.
Yep.
You have to have a venue that's willing to work with you. And there's a lot of people down here that put in the work, the grind to find these venues. So not only is it hard to run a live feed, it's hard to even run a tournament to begin with. Some places they want more. You give them a night where they make $2,000 and it's their slowest night of the week with nobody there, and then you start bringing in $2,000 of business. Now they want 4, now they want 5. Well, there's $10,000 in the money shot. I want half of that.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's hats off to the directors and anyone else out there trying to do live feeds. They're trying to build the sport.
Oh yeah, I know I actually got a chance to travel to a couple hours to Oshawa here, and their money shot. I was like, I can't even stay for that one because they had it. I think there was like 30 people into it, and everyone puts a toonie in, so a $2 coin, and everyone gets a shot to get an airmail. So no matter if you get it in or not, if more than one person gets it in the hole, everybody has to pay and everyone can go in again. It's all until only one person puts it in. So it's like you could actually it could probably go 20 rounds and you could only throw one bag because once two people throw an airmail, it starts over again. So you could pay like $40 and not even throw a bag.
Jeez.
But it's like you said, it's that different things of what people do, right? It's just to bring people in and keep people there.
Oh yeah, it's fun, man. Anytime you bring fun element to it, that's what I'm all about. I like the co-ed leagues, crew cup leagues. I actually used to do a 5-point airmail tournament. So you have an airmail box behind the board. So it's like I want to say it's like a 37-foot airmail or something like that. It's just people love that type of stuff. I love it. It makes it interesting.
So I know that you with K9, you've done a couple different bag collaborations with a couple of companies. So which ones have you kind of done with some stuff with, or maybe people can still get bags from those different companies as well?
Yeah, so that's going to be available on the website as well. We have a release right now with swag bags. It's just a awesome design. Melissa from Onboard Apparel hooked it up. It's basically a realistic, husky and then skull on the bag. And we've got that release going on right now. Shelter, the Vortex shelters, I love that bag. I'll throw it pretty much every single chance I get, and I've been trying to push it out there in the country. I think Vortex is going to make a big leap next year. And then obviously the Viper collab that we just got done doing, that was probably one of my favorite collabs. So, and again, all 3 of these bags have been designed by Melissa from Onboard Apparel. She's actually doing the jersey release that's going to be coming here in the next 2 months. She will actually be out in Rock Hill, South Carolina, so make sure that you guys do check out the Onboard Apparel tent. And even if you don't buy anything from her, just give her a quick thank you for helping out the K9 unit, because the frames, the scenes, a lot of that stuff, it's all her artwork. So, always want to take care of those that take care of me. But the swag bag release we got going on right now, and I think we're going to start the season off with BG next year. So once that 2023 stamp becomes available, I think BG be one of the first ones.
That's nice, yeah. And any other sponsors though with K9? Or is it just the bag collaborations, or do you have anyone else that's kind of on with you?
Actually, like I said, everything's kind of getting built on the website right now. I got to go back in tonight and send her back some modifications to finish the website. But we're going to bring on 10 partnerships next year. It's going to be set up on like a monthly payment system, or I guess you could pay all at once, or whatever's easiest for the company. But I don't necessarily want to target 10 bag companies to hop on board, or 10 board manufacturers or 10 apparel. I would like to kind of spread it out around Cornhole. So I got some clothing and apparel companies that are going to hop on board, like 2 or 3 bag companies, some board makers. I want to try and bring something in that encompasses the whole cornhole world. Even Micro Center, I'm trying to get a hold of Micro Center to hop on board. That way people want to start doing live streams. They'll have a discount code of where to go to buy the equipment. I'll have a list of what to buy for my live feeds. So that whenever people ask me, hey, what equipment do you use? Like, there you go. Just click on this link telling you what the K9 special, and you're set up just like me, So, yeah, no official partners yet. I'm trying to figure out the proper way to do it. But all those partners will be recognized throughout the entire season. You'll definitely know who they are once we get that thing up and running.
And I always feel that the live feeds is a perfect way to get their brand out as well too, because you can just there's so many things you can do with the OBS system that I know that I don't personally do it, but Matt does that also. It's kudos to him.
Yeah, it's all about recognition. So I know Vortex is going to hop on board next year, and like I said, I feel like they're going to blow up. Melissa from Onboard Apparel, I'm hoping she will. Matt Merkel, get Mertz. He's got an awesome airmail box. I wish I had it on me to show you guys, but he's hopping on board. So, we got a few partnerships that are underway. Just going to try and finalize the details. Clear Creek Cornhole, they've always been a huge supporter out there in the Kansas City area. So, you can try and figure out exactly who wants on board this train, because, man, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Well, and that's the thing is you get on this roll, and now I'm like 2.5 years of doing this here now, and it's just you get your haters, you get the people that you're not talking about me enough, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and it's like, what, I'm just gonna keep doing the show, I'm gonna keep doing whatever, because I'm just having fun.
Well, there's 2 different ways to look at things. One, prove me wrong, or prove me right. You know what I mean? I'll never forget Justin Burton Jr.'s fan support, Texas thrower, great shot. And he went very, very deep. I think finished second place in the Kansas City Open. But I was obviously rooting on my sponsor player, Ryden Wiedenfeld, and the chat's just going crazy. Like, you're going to show him some love. You're going to learn who he is. I was like, what? Have him prove me right. Have him win.
Yeah.
And he did. He kept winning. So, they're like, you don't know who Justin Burton Jr. is? I said, no, I got no clue who the hell he is. And now I'm like, man, Justin Burton Jr. is good. I know this kid now. So he proved me wrong. But I'm always going to support my people first. I don't care what the chat says or what somebody says. If you're my sponsored player, I got your back 100%. So.
Well, and I guess that's the other thing with the live feed is that you've got to remember that the chat is there sometimes. Sometimes you just get caught up in the game that you totally forget about the chat.
Yeah, well, if I actually had a camera on me. Here's my little pop-up. I actually had a camera on me at all times, and there was people watching, like, man, this guy's eyes don't stop moving. So, like, I'm sitting there watching a live feed, and then, like, I'm watching the chat over here, and I'm clicking this and clicking that. So it almost got too distracting to see exactly how much I'm doing during the broadcast. So I decided to take that camera off of me.
Well, and then just thinking here now, the other most important thing with the live feed, and I think you may have even I think I may have even heard you talking about it, is the chair that you're using. Mm-hmm. If you're sitting your ass in a chair for like 12, 14 hours and it's not comfortable at all, you're not having a good day.
Yeah. No, there's I think halfway through the season, actually in Kansas City, everything just coming back to Kansas City, but we finally got comfortable office chairs. So we switched away from those folding chairs where people were, everybody was just sitting there for like 1 or 2 hours. Like, man, these are uncomfortable as hell. Yeah. So then, like, for me, it's man, the best thing in the world whenever you finally get your own comfortable chair. So if I'm not there early to set up, and then the people running the tournament take my chair over to the director's booth, man, that's an angry day for me.
Exactly, yeah. I know. I remember back in Niagara Falls at the Open, we didn't have, it wasn't the most comfortable chair, and I could see like a broken office chair. I had like one arm. I'm like, can I just bring that one over here? And they're like, well, no, it's broken. I'm like, I really don't care. I just need something comfortable to sit in for 12 hours here. But
yeah, some venues have nice chairs. Virginia Beach, they had nice chairs. I give it to them. But if you don't have a nice chair, and I'm there for over 10 hours, you'll be able to tell by the end of the live feed when my energy levels are low because I'm in pain. So.
Exactly, yeah. So in talking with the sponsors, I got to give a shout out to mine as they're going to go across the screen here in the bottom now. Octane Cornhole, octanecornhole.com, discount code CORNDUG, gets you 10% off of anything you need with bags, jerseys. That you can get the Down and Back Cornhole podcast jerseys are on there now. You get them. You can get them fully customized, your name, whatever on it. Then JC Cornhole, jccornhole.com. Jamie doesn't have a discount code. I'm not sure why yet, but Jamie, you got to get one. But hey, you know what? If you bring him a couple extra ciders, you may get a bit of a discount. Not saying that that's out there. Then myearfun.com, discount code CORNDUG gets you 20% off of your earbuds, your Bluetooth, waterproof speakers if you need one for outside. Anything you want on there, get that discount code for the 20% off. SierraHome.com, and if you're in the Alberta area, Edmonton to be exact, check out Darren out there. He will help you with any of your home reno needs or whatever you need. And remember, a portion out there will go to a children's hospice in the Edmonton area. So he's doing great things. And then csccornhole.com, check them out. You can get all of your swag bags, your whatever bag you want to get is going to be there at Canadian prices. They only sell the Canadian players, but you can get any bag you want that you want to get in the States. You're going to get up with cornholesuppliescanada.com. So you can check that out. So, Wally, where are you off to next?
I'm actually going to Triadelphia. I'll be at the Open this weekend, and this is going to be my first Open all season where I just get to throw bags. So no commentary. I might do some cell phone coverage if they allow me to, if I even feel like it. I don't know, but I'm just going solely to throw and relax and have a good time, and then Rock Hill, South Carolina for the ACL World Championships after that.
Two places I want to go to, but the other work calls and I can't get there. I wanted to get to Rock Hill again this year because I haven't been since 2018. We were down in Cherokee, and that week is just a fun week. If anyone hasn't registered yet, if you still can, if there's still room, here, get in there to get it because that is just one fun week of cornhole.
Yeah, and the Clash is coming up as well in September. So if anybody wants to go to Iowa for the Clash, it's an awesome tournament ran by Reggie, and I'm really looking forward to broadcasting that one this year. So I like the format that they're going to do. I think he said 11 game guaranteed or something like that. So yeah, just make sure you check out the details of the Clash on Facebook for that one. And the Newtown Throwdown here in St. Louis. We're getting ready to put on the St. Louis versus Kansas City tournaments. So I'd basically find 24 players each year from St. Louis, 24 players from Kansas City, and we play singles, doubles, and crew cup. And that'll be like the second or third week in December. But that's going to be a broadcast that's going to show you guys exactly my vision for cornhole. So I'm going to fly out Corey from California, Corey Russell. He runs DFT, which is 3530 Cornhole, live feeds. And we're going to put on a awesome broadcast where basically each player has their own walk-up music. It's going to show you a different type of environment that you're not used to because it's really fun. It's really rivalry-based, and it's not payout-based at all. I mean, I don't even know what we might not even have any payouts this year, but the format's going to be really, really cool because it's almost like bragging rights. There's a trophy on the line and everything. So look forward to that one in December as well.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be able to make it out to our provincials this weekend, so I'll get to sit back and watch on Moondog Cornhole. Check them out on Facebook and on their moondogcornhole.com, I believe it is. I'll be able to sit back and watch other people who think it's easy to do a live feed, try to do a live feed, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun because they're all thinking, oh, I can just go and get drunk, and I can go and just talk and just do whatever. And yeah, it's
easy to do that for 10 minutes.
Yep. Try and sit there for a while and do it. trying, because it's trying to think of the different things. Or some people like Corey Ewart at their last conference. I remember that he was an amateur curling champion in Canada here, so he's used to kind of like the spotlight, and he actually did go pretty far. But it's trying to pick out those little odd little things about people.
Yeah, it's hard to fill the gaps.
Exactly.
And God forbid something goes wrong. I hope nothing goes wrong, but hopefully they can rebound when something does go wrong, because that's usually, like I said, 9 times out of 10, every live feed has a problem.
I remember one of my first problems. We wasn't a live feed. We were recording it, and we had like 4 fantastic games to get to the final. And I was actually with Jamie Cowan. Him and I were talking, and we forgot to hit the record button. So we just sat and talked and watched some awesome cornhole. So that's the small little things that can go wrong. But I want to thank you for coming on and doing this here. It was a pleasure to have you on, just talking live feeds, because it's for me it's so much more fun than playing, because playing I just lose 21-0 all the time.
I like doing them both. I'm trying to figure out a way to commentate my own championship match. So 2 things need to happen. One, the equipment to make that happen, where I could commentate my match, talk to the person commentating, and play, is pretty expensive. And the second thing is I need to make it 2 championship matches to commentate my own championship match. So I'm working on both of those. Stay tuned.
Yeah, well, let's hope we'll see one of those here on your live feeds, because I know it's on all the time at the JC Cornhole compound. But nice. Again, thank you for doing this here, and good luck on your upcoming events, and especially down in Rock Hill for that week, because that's a long week. That's a long week.
No, I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, everyone else, watch out for those players throwing gas, because they might just kick your ass.